Mrs. Green Apple, and this is a pretty surreal opening frame for a music video, right? I see cannons pointing at doors on top of eyes, and in of itself, that is a sentence that is pretty creepy. So like fruits and vegetables down the side here as well. Look, anyway, we are continuing our track by track listen through to the album 12. We are on to track 3, which is called Public, written in katakana. I don't know what to expect from this. I think so far this album, it's got a gradual start. Started off with a song that was very interesting, very playful, but maybe didn't 100% hit the mark, and ended up being for me a fairly mid-tempo, mid-tier, I would say, Mrs. Green Apple song. Then we had Speaking, which was a much more simple song, but very effective as a single. I kind of feel like so far this album's kind of measuring itself. It's not quite hitting with the same glorious mad craziness as either their most recent albums or maybe the opening couple of mini albums, which were, lots of ideas packed into a very small space. However, I'm loving the creativity, and it's also worth remembering this was a very quick turnover because this came out 6 months after the last one, Variety, the mini album, and that itself came out only a few months after the opening one, Progressive. I don't know how long before their sort of live only recording was, but I don't think it was much before that. So their turnover, they're very prolific. Coffee. Anyway, let's find out what Public gives us, because I feel like this is an album that is showing a lot of the qualities that we like from Mrs. Green Apple, but I'm looking forward to it hitting with the same stride. I've got to be honest, I'm also really excited about all of this. All of these songs in the middle that have no music videos. It could be anything. That's a lot of gems tend to exist in those part of Mrs. Green Apple albums. Anyway, let's jump in and check this one out. It is called Public. Oh man, we are going old school 60s, aren't we? Except for that's a 90s jacket.
純白に輝く生き物だそれはどうかなほらまたあちこちで異世界が山に変わらない世の中だ人が作り上げた日
That octave bass line is really nice at building up tension. Oh, the Terry Gilliam animation is really on point. It's a nice build up. Someone's slapping on the bass. Yeah, I feel like all the detail is back in this song. But the build up and the payoff is much more evident. Nice little change in the rhythm there. Oh, that little jazzy break there. That is such a sweet payoff. I mean, the use of the electric organ is perfectly used there. A little octave harmony there as well. Oh, so many details in it. 意味がある若い子のそうとしぼめしたそのそうどちらももうたもに寄り添い合うその度に何かを欲しがって人は自分のために傷を負わす醜いなりに心に宿る優しさを精一杯 Yeah, this is 100% This like brings together all the things we said about the last two songs, all the best points. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. That is easily the best song on the album so far. That is no disrespect to the other two songs. Just, you know, if anything, this is kind of like quintessentially just like a really strong example of what I love about the band. I think this would probably rank pretty highly if I took all the songs that I'd heard so far and put them against each other, because this is so on point for so many of the qualities that I really like. I mean, for a start, there's details and little nuances everywhere, but as I keep on saying, it's all for the point of serving that final purpose of, you know, does it make you feel something? And then you go back and you retroactively look at how the song achieved that and the details and nuances in which it used to make you feel a certain way. And, you know, those details, nuances, as I often say, they make a song a little bit more unique, give it a re-listenability, but ultimately it's got to make you feel something. For me, this felt like it had emotional punch, it had build-up, it had payoff. I love the way it sort of like goes through its verses and builds up, and the chorus feels really kind of grand and epic. And even that bit where it builds up to the keyboard solo, which itself was so nicely done. Just like, get a big hold vocal note, and he holds the note out there, and then the keyboard's playing this distorted line, which is kind of like, it's like a guitar solo, but so much more colourful because of the fact that obviously keyboard you can do so much. And then the guitar comes in and gives a little bit of craziness as well, with the kind of the string bending action that you can only get from a stringed instrument. So I really felt like everything was expressing, bursting with emotion with this. There was build up. It was quite catchy as well. You know, again, is it going to be like the catchiest song ever? No, it's not. That's fine. It's still catchy enough though that you can sing along to it, and you're probably going to remember it. I think the chorus in this I'm likely to remember more than the first one and the second one, admittedly. I would say, actually, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I feel like this was more catchy than Speaking, even though Speaking felt like it was meant to be the catchy song. And it was a good song. I feel like Public definitely comes up. This is more likely to get stuck in my head, I think. Yeah, so for me, it's that factor that it had that. It also brought back the thing that we that I said before is so quintessentially Mrs. Green Apple, and that we did have in the opening song from the album, which was the playoff of different sounds bouncing off of each other, you know, kind of a middle range of the song where there's many things happening and counter melodies all intertwined, you know, the keyboard playing against the guitars, and you're sort of like interesting kind of like guitar lines that are just sort of flowing through underneath the keyboard. Yeah, there was just detail everywhere. There was so much to get your ears into. And so when you put that together with a sense that it genuinely had a progression, emotional payoff, catchiness, and nuance, this is a song that I think you could get stuck in your head. You can enjoy and repeat listens because there'll be something new for you to hear each time. And every time you hear it, you're going to actually feel something. Yeah, it's not just catchy for the sake of catchy. Yeah, this is exactly what I want from my Mrs. Green Apple. And I got to be honest. I mean, I'm always honest on this channel. I thought the album, there hasn't been anything bad on the album yet. I thought the album got off to maybe a little bit of a shaky start, more just kind of lackluster start. No, just a start where I was thinking like, I want some of that wow. I want some of that Mrs. Green Apple wow. And the first two songs, yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, I enjoyed like the opening track for so many of the things about it, but it just didn't come together. The second song was super punchy, super catchy, but it felt like almost at the expense of a lot of the nuances and playful things that we're used to from Mrs. Green Apple. But still, it was a step up. It was getting better. And then this song brings it all together, and wow, okay, now we are finally rolling. So I feel like the first three tracks, it's almost like we're sort of like getting suited up, getting ready to go, and then Public is when we hit the ground. So I'm really interested to know what the rest of this album has, because it's 13 tracks in total. I would say so far, yeah, there's nothing wrong with an album being a little bit of a slow starter. In fact, the funny thing is that I absolutely adored the Attitude album when we listened to that. I remember the opening track from, and you know what, actually a lot of the time, like the opening, we had that opening, yeah, so it was the opening intro on Attitude, which I felt really out of place. It didn't kind of work, didn't click for me. Then we had the opening title track, which felt like a weird start. And same thing on Antenna, actually. Antenna's the opening track was good, but maybe didn't necessarily hit the ground running as powerfully as they could have done. So I feel like maybe Mrs. Green Apple's albums tend to finish very well, but start a little bit conservatively. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but I feel like things are starting to come together now. Track 3 of 12. It's a 13-track album, so track 3 of 13 from the album 12. This is where I feel like everything's finally really come together. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. As always, though, get in the comments, tell me what you think. Until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now. Ciao, ciao.